For a long time now, I've been obsessed with this, a seemingly completely normal train bridge officially called the Gregson Street Overpass. But what's interesting about this bridge is that it has a huge online presence. It has its own Wikipedia article, website, and even YouTube channel with almost 250,000 subscribers. And the reason why this one bridge has gained so much popularity is... But I feel like this whole situation raises a lot more questions than answers. Mainly, why do so many trucks crash into this specific bridge? In fact, since records of vehicle crashes at the bridge were started in mid-2008, there have been over 175 vehicle incidents. And considering that we know that this bridge has been causing accidents way before 2008, it's safe to assume that this bridge has probably wrecked over 200 vehicles. Obviously, one of the main problems with the bridge is that it's just too short for many trucks to drive safely underneath it, being only 11 feet 8 inches tall. But why is the bridge so short in the first place? Well, to answer that, we need to understand that this bridge was built in 1940, and back then most trucks looked like this. They were small, about the size of a modern van, and they could easily fit underneath the bridge. But what is this? Europe? Where people get their goods delivered in reasonably sized vehicles? Nah, this is America, where we use semis, 18-wheelers, and big rigs, which just so happen to not fit under old 1940s train bridges anymore. But that doesn't fully explain it, because there are plenty of really old and short bridges all over the US, including this one in Massachusetts, which caused a really bad truck crash. And a fire. But that bridge hasn't caused over 300 accidents, so why do so many trucks crash into this one? Well, it also has to do a lot with location. The road which passes under the bridge is one of the main routes through downtown Durham, which is full of things like warehouses, shops, and an unusually high number of criminals. You know, businesses that order tons of stuff to be delivered by trucks. Except for that last group of people, who prefer to transport things in the back of their white van. This means that the number of trucks driving around the bridge is much higher than other old railway bridges, which are usually located in rural areas or in suburban neighborhoods, with way less demand for trucking. Now, some people like to get really mad at the situation, thinking that something must be done to stop this evil, inanimate stationary object. In fact, probably right about now, some brainlet in my audience has started typing a comment like, "Why don't they just raise or lower the bridge? It's not that hard," thinking that they're smarter than actual traffic engineers and trained professionals. Because here's a little thought, if it was easy to just raise or lower the bridge, wouldn't they have done that already? Because unlike some commenters, if you were to actually do a little bit of research, you would realize that both of these options just aren't worth it. First, to raise the bridge, you would also have to raise the train line above it, because it turns out that trains don't do too well when there's a big bump in the track. So you would also have to raise all the track around the bridge to make a smooth slope for the train. And because of this, you would also have to raise all the other train related things in the area, like the train station, all the other train bridges, and every single road that crosses the train tracks. This means that raising the bridge will cost millions of dollars and would also shut down the heavily used and privately owned track for months. However, in 2020, the bridge was raised by 8 inches, not to fix the problem of idiot drivers not paying attention, but to make the bridge the same height as the road crossing not very far away, making the tracks more level and allowing trains to go much faster. Okay, so if we can't raise the bridge, why can't we just lower the road? Well, lowering the road wouldn't work well either, since directly beneath the road is the city's main sewer line. So if you live in the area and you like having, you know, water and working toilets, then you probably wouldn't like it when the city has to shut off your water for 4 months and spend millions of dollars just to prevent a few dumb people from occasionally crashing into a bridge. However, they have implemented a much more economical solution. First, traffic engineers place a sensor 200 feet away from a nearby intersection that detects when a truck is too tall to fit under the bridge. If the sensors are activated by an overheight vehicle, it will immediately turn the light at the intersection before the bridge red. Also placed right next to the red light and also linked to the sensor is a massive sign that lights up with the message "Overheight must turn." And they even added 2 more signs explaining the correct route for trucks to go. If you somehow miss all of these warning signs, you're either an idiot or you just like running red lights. In which case, let's be honest, you probably had it coming. Now, there is still one piece of the puzzle missing, mainly, where does all this crash footage actually come from? And if you thought that the footage I'm using was recorded by any sort of official organization, you would be completely wrong. Because as it turns out, almost all the content surrounding this bridge has been created by just some random dude. The story goes that this guy named Jurgen Henn started working at an office overlooking the intersection just before the bridge, and he immediately started to notice an unusually high number of trucks that would have, let's just say, problems going under the bridge. So naturally, after multiple times of this happening, he started to get a bit curious about exactly how many trucks would crash into this bridge. So he decided to stick 2 home security cameras on the outside of his office facing the bridge, and then started to collect his data. And now whenever a truck or other vehicle would ram into the bridge, he would post it on his newly created website and YouTube channel to archive the crash. But it turns out that vehicles of all shapes and sizes being bested by a stationary 80-year-old piece of metal is exactly the type of content that people love. There's just something so therapeutic about bad drivers just getting what's coming to them. But we aren't the only ones who seem to enjoy this content a lot, because the YouTube algorithm loves it. And it's because of this that Jurgen's channel, Yovo68, has gained almost 75 million views just by exclusively posting videos of incidents at the bridge. And that's pretty much the story about how a completely random train bridge accidentally became internet famous. Now, I don't really know how to end this video, so I'm just gonna leave you with a little advice about how to avoid a situation like this. First, figure out the height of your vehicle. Second, look for one of these signs on the road and read it. Third, if the height listed is not a few inches taller than your vehicle, just don't drive under it. And if you follow these simple steps, you will officially be a better driver than the US military. Thanks for watching.